welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It's nice to see everybody. I'm Joyce Melody. I'm the director here at Radiant Living. I know most of you, so I probably don't even really need to say that. I wanted to let you know about the calendar that I left on your seats of all the events that we're having at Radiant Living. And there's a flyer for our fun fair, which is going to be this Saturday. It's going to be lots of fun, lots of different opportunities to experience a little bits and tastes of a lot of different healing modalities and different things that we'll be offering. So come if you can for all or part of the day. It's going to be really fun. I'm so excited to introduce what we have this evening. Our longtime friend of Wilhelmina, who used to use the space and then outgrew it, so she's moved to Edmond, and I'm so happy to have you with us this evening, Wilhelmina.
Good to be back.
Yeah, love having you. And Lisa Toro, most of you know her and her Akashic Record messages that she brings, so I'm going to turn it over to them, and welcome. Can I say one more thing? I want to introduce Dan, who just has a book out that just came out last week. You want to tell him a little bit about it?
Sure. It's a book about my 20 years of Santa experiences and encounters with children and adults. There are really more adult stories, but it was out Tuesday. It's called The Santa Claus Chronicles, Heartwarming Tales of a Real-Life Santa. And some people have written me and said that I should invest in their mascara. So there are some humorous stories and some poignant stories, so thank you.
Great, welcome.
Thank you,
You
Joyce.
can get it on Amazon?
Amazon and
Yeah.
Barnes & Noble and
Yeah.
ChristianBook.com.
Yeah.
And if you can't buy it, it'll be at the Oklahoma City Public Libraries.
Right.
I found out
Yeah.
last week. That was
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, good for you.
And I'm going to brag a little bit. He found out right now already on Amazon you're number one of the Christmas.
Oh, well, the Christmas position, we're number 20 on the Christmas kind of ranking,
sweet.
so that's exciting.
That's
I
great.
told Lisa maybe 20 out of 21.
As you were saying, I hope the list isn't 21.
I don't know how long the list is.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very
Excited.
much. That was very nice.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Lisa and Wilhelmina.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome. So first of all, I want to say I didn't outgrew Radiant Living. I just want to add something to it. I'm an artist as well, so I have now New Life Art and Wellness Center in Edmond, and we have art classes as well. And that was more or less a push finally that I listened to my guidance and to step forward and be responsible and do my own thing, instead of hiding under the umbrella of Radiant Living. It was very comfortable for me, but you cannot stay comfortable for a long time. You have to really step out and do your thing. And this is all in line with what we're going to discuss today as well, stepping forward and stop hiding, the true meaning of existence. How can we embrace that by truly, allowing ourselves to see, to hear, and to be who we truly are, But most of you, I've never seen you. What's your name?
I'm Yolanda.
Yolanda?
Yes.
And Terry. And Terry. Those are the only new people that I see here. And from the beginning, I never really liked to introduce myself, and it's still the case. So I always refer to my websites. And I've seen you, but I think we talked briefly.
Yes.
But there's tons of information online if you really are interested in my history and all the stuff that I'm doing. So I'll leave that to that. I'll let Lisa say her welcome words.
And I think you're the only one that I haven't ever seen before.
Yeah. I haven't met you.
Erica?
Carla.
Carla.
I haven't met you.
Nice to meet you, Carla.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Lisa.
Thank you.
I don't have anything to say. I'm kind of following Wilhelmina's lead at this point.
Okay.
So she's the
Well, just shut me up when it's needed.
We've done this once or twice before, so we know how to do this. So we're
Yeah,
good.
that's true. So this morning, my guidance gave me information, and I shared a little bit online a couple of hours ago, a live recording I did on my Facebook page, and I posted it also on the group. I tried to post it also on the Radiant Living one, but for some reason my phone was not accepting it. But I'm sure nobody that's here has listened to that, right?
No, I saw it, but I wasn't on Facebook, I didn't get to hear it, so.
Anybody listened to that? No, I figured, but that's okay. I'm going to read to you what I read a few hours ago. They shared with me like a half page, but the last paragraph is actually the introduction to this all. And if you cannot hear me, let me know, because I see you sit like this.
I just listened intently.
Okay. So I'm just going to read to you all what was shared with me. I have to tell you that whenever I receive information, it's not as clear and sound like you would read in a book. You know, it is something that is very encoded, and it's very symbolic sometimes, it requires maybe some explanation. So if you have any question of anything that's being shared here by any of us, feel free to ask straight away, or raise your hand or whatever, you know, if it's kind of intense. But it's better to explain it to you in the moment, okay? All right, so the true meaning of existence lies in the dark to discover the depth of pain and resurrection. Be brave to dispel this pattern of indecision and walk forward with the knowing of you amongst the stars of wisdom. You came, conquered, then rewrote the story over and over and over again, in line with the essence that no longer holds its ground. And bring forward the spring mankind has dreamt for, and spread forward the awakening as we carry you onward through the depths of the new alignment. So I prepared people, you know, whoever was willing to listen, if they would come today, they had to be prepared for transformation. So in one way, I guess it's good that you didn't hear about it, but maybe you were scared out then too, and didn't come. Because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be moved here, okay? There's a lot of things that are going to be altering within your essence, and that's done by the guidance that is here with us, more about that later. But let me just go to the words, so to make sure that everybody understood what I was saying here. I'm going to just go sentence by sentence, okay, and then feel free to ask. So the true meaning of existence lies in the dark to discover the depths of pain and resurrection. So what they meant by that is that the true meaning of existence within mankind has been in the darkness, okay? We have never really truly understand the true essence, you know, of existence. It lies in the dark to discover the depth of pain and resurrection. So through pain, you know, and resurrection, we have been learning. You know, we have been learning our lessons. We have been evolving as mankind. All right. That's just how we have chosen, you know, to operate more or less. Okay. So they say, be brave to dispel this pattern of indecision and walk forward with the knowing of you amongst the stars of wisdom. I hope I don't have to explain this, as I already gave an explanation of the first sentence. It makes sense now, right? In the beginning it was like, what is the heck is he saying? But when you hear the first sentence and you have the understanding, then the rest will be more clear, okay? So we have to be brave, guys. We have to truly be brave. And we'll talk a little bit about it later on. You came, conquered, and rewrote the story over and over and over again. We have been here. I can cry now. There's a lot of energy flowing through me, and I cry sometimes, and I say that, and then it goes away. But we have been to this planet so many freaking times, guys. So many times. And have done the same things. We have made the same mistakes. I say mistakes, you know. We have embrace the same patterns over and over and over again. The reason why I'm very emotional is we're getting really, really close to breaking through this. You know? And a part of me is a little bit hesitant. A part of me doesn't want to, like we all. That's why I say be brave. Because we have adapted to that rhythm. As soon as we come into the physical body, we have adapted to a certain rhythm that's comfortable. That is natural, we think, but it isn't. Okay? So it's now really truly time to allow yourself to be truthful in the core. Truly truthful. So you can recognize what you have been doing all the time. But what has already been whispered to you to alter, yet we haven't done it yet. Okay. So you came, conquered, then we wrote the story over and over and over again. Everybody understands this, right? You may not remember, because that's how it happens with incarnation. We forget most of the time. But we are like, how do you call that? I don't know how to say that in English, like habit animals. We keep on doing the same thing. We keep on gravitating towards the same things.
Habitual.
Yeah, okay, thank you. In line with the essence that no longer holds its grounds, okay? It doesn't hold the ground anymore on where we're at in time and age, okay? The atmosphere that we're living in has outgrown the old. We just have to catch up, okay? Everybody is familiar with
Say
that?
that one more time, please.
So the atmosphere around us, our planet, has outgrown the old. The energy that's been radiating, the frequency that's been radiating in our atmosphere is far beyond, that we already have allowed ourselves to exist in, okay? So they said in line with the essence that no longer holds its grounds. Okay, it's not a truth anymore. It's not a way anymore. It shouldn't be a pattern anymore. We have outgrown it, yet we still are stuck to that habitual, way of existing. Okay. Anyways, bring forward the spring. They said, spring, like the season. Mankind has dreamt for, and this is of course a symbolic way of saying, the spring, the new life starts, is flourishing. We all have dreamt for that. We all have dreamt for heaven on earth. Okay. They ask us, through me, bring forward the spring mankind has dreamt for, and spread forward the awakening as we carry you onwards to the depth of the new alignment. Okay. So our guidance are here to help us every step out of the way. Or off the way, whatever, in good English, and they're going to carry on onwards through the depth of the new alignment, and that has to do with aligning us to the frequency of the new world, the new existence. Okay. Any questions on this for now? Go ahead.
I didn't understand the word death or depth.
Depth.
PTH.
Yes.
Thank you.
And does it make sense?
Makes sense now.
Okay, good. Right. Is there anything that you want to add to that?
There's a light that's coming in that is beyond your existence at this time. You recognize that there's a shift and a change that is occurring. However, you cannot recognize what this shift is. What we're telling you is that you are ready. You are ready to accept the existence that is beyond the human realm. And we are asking you to accept what we have to give. And this is what is happening at this time. Go ahead.
I will do that. But yeah, so I also, during that recording that I had earlier, or live broadcast, I said recording too first, but I invite, I actually want to, after reading this paragraph that I just read, I want to try to turn it off. And I pushed that button, 3 times and nothing happened. I thought, okay, so I'm being held off. I need to say something else. So I then shared with them, in preparation, write down. You can do mental writing right now. Write down your current pain, struggle, joy, love, if any, okay? That you recognize as a pattern that's coming back into your life over and over again.
And if you need to get clipboard, there's some clipboards behind you. We're going to make you write, unless you have a good memory.
It's really good to put it in writing.
So write down all of it, the pain, the joys that I see is a pattern.
Yes, and something that's very eminent right now in this time and age, that has been on your hand, in your face,
Right.
Over and over again.
Okay.
It could be, I was saying something, an experience, a very deep experience that you had when you were 10, and then when you were 30, and then when you were 50, if you are 50.
Right.
Of course, I'm not saying that you're 50, I'm saying you just find
Right.
that pattern.
Right, I get you. Something that's recurring.
Right, but very, very strongly, that always presents you with a very important lesson in life, okay? And you have recognized the lesson, yet it keeps coming back. And the fact is, it only comes back because the lesson, that's attached to it is not fully embraced. Okay? That's why I wanted to make a mental note or a note on paper, to start bringing that forward for a second here.
You already have a pen?
Well, a few minutes, I guess. Give you a few more minutes.
Well, I do want to clarify, or maybe ask the question, I don't know which one it is. It doesn't have to be the case that we've had to have pain. It's just that that's what we've chosen, right?
No, absolutely.
I mean, it didn't have to be that
No,
way.
so I said, it's something that you recognize as pain, joy, love, maybe even a pattern that keeps coming back very strongly.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about what you wrote, what they were saying about we've gone to the depths of, pain and everything, and I thought, we didn't have to. We just, as mankind, it's what we've chosen. We thought we had to work through pain, right?
I'm going to
Yeah.
It's kind of a question, I guess.
What I'm getting is that, yes, there is a time, and there are times that you do have to reach that certain level of experience in order to recognize that this is not comfortable. And if it's not comfortable, then you'll choose to move out of it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So there are times that you have to feel pain, you have to feel sorrow, you have to feel grief. And when I said pain, what I got was that because the opposite of, the grief, or the opposite of that is the love. When you're in this point, in order to experience the whole full range of spectrum, you have to receive the opposite.
You have
Become aware of it.
Yeah.
Anyway. It doesn't mean that you have to choose and make decisions to cause yourself pain on a daily
Okay.
basis.
Yeah.
That's not the message, and I think that that's what you were saying, is that is it meant to be? Is it God's plan that you have to make this decision in order to feel the pain and the suffering? Because there's people that believe that.
Yeah.
There are. I mean, you're supposed to suffer, and you're not living or learning if you're not suffering. That's not necessarily the case. It's not the case.
Okay.
I was trying to be
And that's
objective and say
helpful, 'cause that's what I
necessarily,
wondered.
but
Right.
It's pure ignorance
It's not,
of
yeah.
mankind when they are embraced that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's not the case.
no. But you understand that you use mortals is my new word. I don't know. I think I've been watching too much TV. All of the crazy immortals and mortals. Mortal seems to be the new word. You as mortals need to experience the wide range and the variety of self-infliction in order to move past that state. However, you need to recognize that this is not a state that you need to currently reside in as we're moving forward. Okay, because everybody in this room has experienced all those ranges, and that's why we have been chosen to be able to move away from that and into the spring, to where it's a new beginning and to where it's a time where you can be comfortable and you don't have to been there, done that. So like, and I'm sitting here saying everybody in here has had the deep depression or the sadness or the grief and the extreme happiness and love and everything that can go in between. And that's why we've been chosen to move forward.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Abraham Hicks says about, you know what you do want based on well, you know what you don't want, and based on what you don't want, you kind of know what you do want.
And what I'm getting is that, and if you haven't experienced the do want, you never know that it's even available.
Yeah.
You have to experience, or you have to be
don't want.
knowledgeable of it in some way to be able to say, that's where I want to go. Because if it's not in our mind or in our consciousness and we don't know the path that we can go down, you stop right there. This is all I know, this is it. And so this is as far as I can go. Until a door opens, and I'm getting that door opening thing that we saw today about getting to that place where you're on this dimension or this realm, and you're afraid to open the door to see what's on the other side because you've never experienced it before. But at some point, in order for us to get past where we are, you have to open those doors. And I'm seeing it like you open it, like in the movie, and you open it up, and it's all dramatic, and you come up and you open it up, and then there's this huge white light or something dramatic, as you open up these doors. But that's the point. You have to be able to be brave and open up those doors and take a step inside to see what's happening so that you can learn. And it can be a recognizable situation in your own mind in order to move forward into those steps.
All right, got it. Now write down what you see as a pattern, right? Because it's something that you're going to utilize in the little bit here as well. That's why you need to allow yourself to recognize that. Don't think much. Feel. Let's try there. It's about recognizing a pattern in this whole structure that we're talking about. So the pattern is there to teach you surrendering to the moment within trust of the outcome. Pain and sorrow lingers as you hold on to the structure that no longer is held in place, as it is broken, dead, no longer a part of your progress. Now think like you never was attached. So what they meant by that, they invite you to think back, if you can, when you were a baby, you weren't attached to anything. Well, maybe, your mom, your parents. But I mean, nothing to anything superficial. Now think like you never were attached. Were attached. Born to the light of self with no barriers, no boundaries for the unknown times, the unknown ways, the unknown decisions, the unknown paths. It leads you to truly committing to the truth that carries your way. So, is everybody done writing, or you still have to write a little bit? So what they meant by that is it understood? What I just read? Do I need to give you any extra information? It's fine. Okay. That's what they just told me. That you can just continue, but I'll make sure that I can.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay.
We need a little bit more.
I don't know what to ask. Oh.
You didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, that's fine if you don't know. What?
Explain. Because I need to know too. Okay. It's you and me, girl. Okay.
So the pain and sorrow lingers as you hold on to the structure that no longer is held in place. Okay? the pain that you were just talking about, you know, how we invite ourselves to learn through pain. And sorrow lingers as you hold on to the structure that no longer is held in place. It's truly not here. It's just an illusion. It's just a pattern, a way that we have adapted to embrace and to go through, you know, to get to the next step. Clear? Okay. I have to ask you. Sorry. For some reason I was looking at you.
Let us know.
As it is broken, dead, D-E-A-D, okay, no longer part of your progress. It isn't, but we think it is. Okay? We don't need to learn through sorrow and pain. It's not a part of our progress. We can learn through love. We can learn through joy. Okay? We can learn through the simplicity of existence. We don't need complexity. Okay? Yes.
I need a clarification about we don't need to learn through our sorrow and pain.
What's the question?
Well, my question is, sorrow and pain will happen, will it not, without me inviting it? So, are you saying that I should ignore whatever that I have learned there and just move to love?
All right. So sorrow and pain is only happening because we are translating that with our emotions. Okay? Oh my gosh. So I have to give you an example because this goes really, really deep. Okay? Because this is a way that has not been embraced by mankind. Okay? We think there's always sorrow, there's always pain. If somebody dies, oh my God, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of emotion and pain. We are emotional beings, yes. But with the knowing, you know, that a person dies because it's time. A person dies because they have to, their soul needs to continue on a different level. When we know the story, when we understand the depth of existence, the true meaning of existence, we will not sorrow, we will rejoice. But it's time for them to move on to the next level. It's a good thing. Okay. For us to be bogged down, be grieving, you know, is something that it is not something that is going to change like this, I'm telling you, you know. But where mankind is heading towards, it will not exist anymore. They have told me for many years, you know, where we're going to is a place where there's no sorrow, no pain. And what does that mean? It means that we have evolved so we can see beyond our eyes can see right now. We can understand beyond what our ego is allowing us to understand right now. Okay? We can exist within a world that goes beyond all of our comprehension. Okay? So what I'm talking about here is not simple levels of change. You know, I'm talking about deep transformation. Okay. So back to your question, you know, not to have any experience of sorrow and pain anymore lies in that concept. It lies in that track. Okay. Does it make sense? Feel free to, because you have another question. Feel free.
Well, I'm having difficulty following your progression. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I heard you and I understand what you're saying.
Right.
And maybe I'm not evolved enough to.
No.
I mean, literally, there is, if I accumulate the quote habits and try to summarize them,
right.
there is some pain and suffering that I definitely invited. And there is so much more that, as far as I'm concerned,
You didn't.
I did not invite it, and I learned from every one of them. Now, maybe what I'm learning, and I have a sense that I'm learning, is that I'm moving to a broader appreciation, not even a necessary understanding, but appreciation
Of existence.
of existence and of future continuation. And so, I mean, I think.
Can I stop you for a second?
Yes.
Because I want to go back to that realization that there were certain sorrow and pain that you didn't invite. Can you give an example? Because every single freaking sorrow and pain that we have experienced, we have chosen. Okay? It's never anybody else's fault.
We have chosen to have emotions about that.
Yes, and we have chosen.
Is that, okay, so what I think I'm hearing is the presentation is based on an interpretation of a future that we all desire, seek, and if we continue to learn, we'll get to. Is that the assumption? That's the only thing, that there is no real objective pain, sorrow.
That's where we're heading towards, yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, whenever we think we haven't chosen for certain sorrow and certain pain because somebody else is involved, we see ourselves as a victim. Okay? And when we see ourselves as a victim, we push away truly the lesson that we can learn from it.
Okay.
Because we are always present. We always make the choice, conscious or subconsciously. Okay? And it's about being truthful enough to allow yourself to be in this moment and be within the submission to self and nothing else. Nothing, no others. You don't have to. You don't have to compare. You don't have to get acknowledgement from anybody. It's about feeling and being present in self and feeling truly. Being brave enough to truly feel what have I been hiding from? What have I been doing to dilute my vision, okay, on existence? I realize, this goes very, very deep. So if the words are not something that you can understand right now, just feel the energy, okay? And I don't know if you want to add something to it which make it more understandable.
What we're asking you to explain is that what's happened in the past is on the existence of the third realm, and that has a lot to do with the ego and emotions that are being driven from self, it's not satisfaction, what's the word? Self-gratification. And what we are saying to you is that you are evolving from the third dimensional ego self-centeredness into an evolution that is taking you to a level of consciousness that dissolves the ego in a way that you have used it in the past. And what we're saying to you is that this is a transformation that is occurring, and that is occurring with you specifically. I mean, they're answering you and your question. You can look at yourself specifically, and everyone in this room can look at where there have been times in your lives that you have become the victim. And I'm saying that when we use the term the victim, then we have a tendency to, the hair ruffles up on the back of your neck, like, how dare I think that I'm the victim? Well, victimization comes in many ways and shapes and forms. And what we're saying to you is that if there was ever a time that another individual did not live up to your expectations or your motives or your satisfaction, then you can simply become the victim to their behavior, and this takes you down a rung, like you're calling it, it'll bring you down a rung. And there's not anybody in here that's not ever felt that at some point in their life. And what we're saying to you is that you recognize that that is a pattern, or a stage that you have gone through and you're evolving through that to the point to where you will soon recognize that you are no longer living in the expectations of others. And as you are disappointed by a situation or a behavior, you'll recognize within yourself the truer meaning and the understanding of all that is. And we'll say something simple as, it was their journey. It's their path. They made the choice and the decision to be who they are and where they are, and we accept that without taking it personally. And this is where we're headed. Okay, so does that help your question?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you both.
It's basically moving out of third dimension, the vision and the perception of third dimension existence.
Mhm.
It's a shift.
It is.
Same events, just a different perspective.
Same thing,
Same
only
events.
different.
Loss is loss.
But we see it with a different,
Mm-hmm.
as Wilhelmina
Yes.
said, and I've heard it a billion times,
Mhm.
seeing things with different eyes.
Right.
And as you look at the same situation,
Mhm.
you have a different understanding, and it doesn't affect you the same way that it did 20 years ago.
But how can you look, how can you look truly at these situations with different eyes? Okay? Not by doing the same thing as we have been doing. And what you're doing now is the same thing. Okay? So that's why you needed to write down some things, okay, that you saw as a pattern, okay, and stop overthinking it, because you all try to understand these things to the bottom of it. You know, this was given to me this morning. I didn't do anything with it after that. Okay, I'm reading it to you again here. Why don't I do anything with it? Not because I ignore it. It's because I trust that whatever part of me that needs to integrate with it will integrate with it, because I'm open, I'm ready, and I'm present. That's all you need to be. Open, ready, and present. And when I say present, be here in the here and now, in the moment, allowing the split second that flashes in front of you to act upon that in all of your ability. Okay? And that's the simplicity of existence that I talked about briefly. Okay? Not thinking and overthinking it like, oh my God, I don't understand it. Oh my God, I'm not that far, or I'm farther than that. It's not about measurement. Okay? It's not about I'm further developed than that person. It's not about ego. It's about understanding that we are all as far as we are allowing ourselves to be. We don't have to have the knowledge in our minds, because we are connected to all that is. Okay? We have everything, guys. We have all the answers. We have all the powers. But we are not allowing ourselves to filter it through. Okay? So, with that said, I'm just going to finish reading just one more paragraph, okay? So I'm very emotional and very, very stern, it seems, and very direct, but I need to, because there's a lot that needs to be shared, okay? I'm a very kind person, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of energy flowing through me, and I need to bring it forward, okay? Because it's freaking time, and I keep saying freaking because I normally don't use that word either. But it's really, you know, they're pushing me, you know, and they're pushing me to bring it forward here, because we have wasted way too much time already on this planet, guys. We have to move forward, and we have heard it many times. It's time, but we're beyond that, okay? So I'm going to read this here, and then I'm going to go wherever they want me to go. Or we will go wherever we want.
And we're going on a journey tonight, guys.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt, but you guys are all being worked on right now.
Mhm.
And there's light that's coming down in you, and the eyes are being worked on.
Preparation is being made, so this, be open, you know, be open with your heart, be present. It's all good, honestly, as long as we make it good, all right? It always has been good, but we haven't always made it good, okay? All right, So surrendering to the unspoken limits allows the limits to be broken. It almost doesn't seem like English, right? Surrendering to the unspoken limits, okay? So we have limited ourselves, like I was just sharing, we have limited ourselves, but it's unspoken. It's just something that we naturally do. We naturally have limited ourselves to comprehend, to embrace the powers within, okay? So surrendering to the unspoken limits allows the limits to be broken. So we have to surrender to it now. Surrendering to the unspoken limits. We have to truly admit to it. That's why I wanted you to write down and recognize what are those patterns, okay? When you recognize those patterns, you're going to surrender to it if you are ready, if you allow yourself to be ready. And this is allowing yourself to be ready, because we are all then ready, okay? So surrendering to the unspoken limits allows the limits to be broken. Shun away from the truth that was created when you knew not better. Okay? I told you the way they speak. Sometimes I think they're Old English or whatever where they came from, but I will translate for you. Shun away from the truth that was created when you knew not better. So we created the truth. We created a way of existence that is that happened because we didn't know better, okay? And I think we've kind of touched that already, and I want to continue because I think this is not the most important thing that needs to be shared here about that. So embrace the truth that carries you to the other side, where longings are transmuted into belonging, okay? In this old, let's call it the old world, we have longings, wants, needs, okay? Where we are going to, we have belongings, and not belongings like material stuff. We belong to all that is. We belong to our powers. We belong to our essence. We belong to the creation of existence, the true meaning of existence. Okay? Let me see, what was I? Embrace the truth that carries you to the other side of your longings and transmuted into belonging, where shivers are mended into a warm embrace. When you surrender to the ongoing cycle of existence, you become one with the true meaning that brought you here, to explore the new grounds that are unfolding in front of you. See, and you will be seen. Hear, and you will be heard. Become, and you have surrendered to the mission. Become, and you will have surrendered to the mission you call your own. So when they told me, years ago, they told me, see and you will be seen, hear and you will be heard. And I thought, okay, I will let you just see, beyond, and then people will see me too. Or I just will have to keep on hearing, and then, I will be heard. That was the simple translation that I had made from that. Quite recent, a few months ago, I found out that what they meant by that, see, and you will be seen. I will see myself truly, the core of my essence. See, see in a way, look around, see existence, and I will see myself. Hear existence, and I will hear myself. The core of myself, the true soul of myself. The soul core, whatever you want to call it in good English. Understand what I'm saying here? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is very important. Become, and you have surrendered to the mission you call your own. We came here with a mission, okay? And these times and age, we all have heard it so many times, but it's really true. Whenever we are incarnated into a realm that has a transformation beyond our wildest dreams, beyond anything anybody has experienced yet, okay? Are you ready? They're saying. Are you truly ready to adhere to that? We created, okay. It's in our soul's blueprint, okay? But yet, when we incarnated, we rolled back into that pattern, that old pattern. And that's why we're here today, to talk about breaking out of that old pattern and start seeing life from a completely different way, from a completely different side. Allow yourself to burst out of the pattern, the same old vicious cycle, and stop for a moment and allow yourself to see without judgment. Allow yourself to experience without expectation. Allow yourself to become. Just become. Within, and I have to say freaking again, within that freaking simplicity, you know, it's so simple. And I've said it many times to you all, you know, simplicity. It is so simple to just be.
I am that I am. I am that I am.
Exactly.
The hardest part is to clear the mind, so that you can just be.
So let me just one or two more sentences, and then we can talk more about it. But you know, feel free to ask questions, you know, when I'm done here. I will tone it down a little bit. I will be nicer in a second here. Where was I? New beginnings are at your door. Accept the invite and flourish. As you bring forward what no longer stagnates at the sight of fear nor pain. Okay? Because whenever we see fear or pain, and whenever we see a pattern in front of us, like whenever somebody dies, we are afraid. Or whenever we are sick, we are afraid. We feel pain and we stagnate. Right? We are not allowing ourselves to be within the energy, be within the essence that can manifest, create, heal, recreate. We are not utilizing our powers. We are stagnant again. Okay? Is this all clear? Okay. So I think, so that was the message this morning. You know, when I woke up, I got it on my phone real quick. It's looking about the phone, right? They also told me that there is a guided meditation that I wrote. Well, actually, I recorded also after I woke up because that was needed maybe a couple of months ago. Crossing the light bridge, and they told me that that needs to be shared here with you. So we're going to go through a guided meditation here. I've done it like 3 or 4 times, and this is something that we can do whenever we feel called upon, because every single time there's a different depth reached, because we allow ourselves to be ready. Okay. I'll be quiet for a little bit here. Are there any questions? Or any feelings that this brings up? Feel free to share, because it helps others as well.
Is everybody moving to this new place?
Why is that question asked?
Does it make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but why do you ask that? Why is that important?
Due to my family.
So you're afraid that your family will be left behind?
Them or me, due to my mom being left.
So fear is you allow fear to come forward again. That's why I'm asking you this. Okay, I could give you the answer, but it doesn't help, because then you're still in that same pattern. And that's where I want you to burst out of. You're responsible for you. Okay? That's it. Everybody's responsible for themselves. If you allow yourself to be the radiant cell that is you, you will invite them in silence. You will prepare them in silence. You will heal them in silence. But that's not the first thought that needs to be within your essence here. Okay? The first thought in your essence needs to be here. Okay, what do I need to do to be present? No fear. Okay? So do you hear all how important that is?
And they're all fine.
Mm-hmm.
They're exactly where they need to be. And if you hold yourself back because you're afraid you're going to leave them, then where are you going to end up? Are you being true to yourself?
Nothing changes there. Nothing.
Don't be afraid for others. There's no reason to be. It's all good, girl. Okay.
Yeah, nobody is alone here. Nobody is alone. It's just up to us if we want to listen. Listen, and not to other people or other beings. Listen to our essence. Listen to our heart. Listen to our soul, our higher self, whatever name you want to give it. You know, be present. Okay.
And moving forward and shifting helps other people shift just by being in. So there's no way to measure it.
Yeah,
Is that-
you can be an example. You know?
You already are.
I understand your question.
Yeah, it's a comment. It's common.
I understood
Yeah.
the question, you know, but it's important to emphasize. You know, that's why I'm being an ass kind of right now. I don't mean to be that, you know, but I need to, because otherwise this is a waste of time. Okay? Yeah, and you know me. You know. Yeah. There's some other being working with me, obviously, so that's why, you know, there's different language being coming out of my mouth, you know, but it's just, you know, the way it needs to be because of they say the investment that they have been put forward in this process. So it's time.
But you understood what she said. The reason why. Yeah, I mean, you understood the words that she said. They were not offensive. So don't apologize. It's okay.
No, but I don't want to scare people to say something. You know, I know it's fine with you, but you know, I don't want to scare people to say anything because I'm not attacking. You know, I'm helping. Okay, even though it sounds like an attack, but it's absolutely not my intention. If so, okay. It's just there's a lot of spinning going around.
You're addressing the pattern that holds us back, is
Okay.
what you're doing.
Right.
It's not a personal thing, you're saying
no.
there's that fear,
I'm
there's
holding
that.
the mirror.
Yes, I get
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
but
Yeah.
what you brought up is extremely important for everybody in
Yes.
here.
It's very
You know,
important.
I mean,
added to
I've
my
had
list.
that. I've had that same feeling. I mean, I've looked back and said, "Oh my gosh, if I allow this to happen, what's going to happen to my life? How am I going to change? Am I going to have any friends? Is anybody going to be able to relate to me? What are, you know, we all have had those fears, and it's very valid in the fact that because we can only see so much. We can only see what's just right here with these eyes. Again, we can't, Wilhelmina and I've been lucky enough to have other outside influences, which you have them too, to be able to open up that space and be able to see there's no reason to be afraid. Because you have to go down your own path and you have to recognize who you are and where you're going and allow this to unfold without fear, knowing that where you will ultimately reside will give the life and the love to all that exist upon the earth. So even if your child isn't standing right next to you with the exact same amount of knowledge and the exact same vibration or whatever it may be, doesn't mean that they're less than. What that means is that you have the ability to love them in a way that you've never been able to love before. That you'll be able to love them unconditionally and with an exuberance that comes from your heart that you've never possessed before. That's our gift. That's where we're going. That's the ability that we're going to have when we can set those fears away, which come from our ego, and be able to move forward that way, and be able to stand in this place in the truest, purest form, to be what God created, our true existence, and be able to love all that is.
They say that seeds are being planted and have been planted and have been watered, if you will, nurtured at this time. This is a process. It's very important to allow yourself the space and time and the love for self to nurture your intent. Okay, it's just, you know, if you don't hear these things, if you haven't even been in contact with all of, you know, what we have been sharing here, how can you even know that you need to alter certain ways? you're searching for something, you're searching for change, but you don't know how, so it needs to be brought forward, okay? You should be contemplating or analyzing all these things. You should just feel, what's right for you in the moment. But with the additional information that our mind has, we will be able to recognize old ways and old patterns when it pops up. Okay? Whenever we are going our jolly good way again, and I'm saying something to go to work tomorrow, and this annoying colleague comes forward again, and you do something that you did before that wasn't helpful for you. You'll recognize it, right? And you will pull yourself to a halt. Okay, hold on. This has never helped me. This has never helped anybody. How can I approach this differently? Okay. So it just brings something forward for you to recognize. It helps you to get a deeper self-awareness. So you will be calling upon you whenever you see something is not going in the flow that needs to go. Okay. And as I said already before, just be present in that moment, and you'll recognize it, and you'll know what to do. Okay. There's one more question, as they say, and then we have to continue with the meditation. Who has a question?
Well, I don't have a question, but I have something I need to share. And that is, it's important to remember that we're all in this room for a reason, and that is we are on a spiritual journey. The important thing to remember is because we are mortals, we also have to exist in the 3D plane. So part of our challenge is to be able to figure out how do we allow our spiritual self, our spiritual journey, to be able to interweave with the 3D plane and those people that we are connected with. Because the more that you spend on your spiritual journey and in your spiritual plane, it will become very apparent as to how you need to be able to work with others in the 3D plane. And as you elevate, you actually do become a beacon for those others. And the idea is you don't ever want to step back. You want to allow them to be able to catch up with you. So don't ever go back. But that is the important thing to remember. We all have to exist in the 3D plane, but our real challenge is our spiritual journey.
Good job.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. So there's various steps, that help you get to a deeper connection with self. Okay. I work with many people on multidimensional awareness, and we're doing various series of journey, of souls, integration right now, to touch depths untouched before. And during my classes, what I'm going to share with you here, I've shared also, I think 2 times. It's just very important to just relax your mind and body. I kind of walk you through that thing. So just follow my voice and just feel where you need to go. What's very important to say is that I guide people through things, but if you are being guided by your higher self or by your guidance, by your soul, to go in a different direction, don't feel obligated to follow your words. It's always important to follow you, okay? And don't restrict yourself to that. And I just want to give that as
I
an
have to
extra.
add something to that. what is coming to me to say to you guys is that to make sure that if you deviate from the plan, make sure that it's not fear that's taking you in a different direction.
Fear, make sure it's not fear.
Yeah, don't escape.
Right.
But that's up to you. And if you escape now, then you'll know for next time not to do it again. It's a process. No, I'm telling you, it's a
Right.
process. And I started, I think, with the first words, be brave. And are you brave enough to allow yourself to be present? Okay. And why not? This is fashion of our existence, and let's make it the best. Okay. Everybody ready, or do you need to use the restroom or something? It's not long, it's like 17 minutes or something.
If you are in need to distress, just go and sit somewhere where you cannot be disturbed. Lay down if possible and close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, allow yourself to drift away from the stories that are around you, away from the worries that you kept within you. Just take some deep, deep breaths and allow yourself to sink deeper and deeper and deeper within. Allowing golden particles to enter your crown, you are invited to move forward. For you to decide. If the decision is too hard to take, just remain where you are within harmony of your tune, in harmony with your essence, and learn to understand the full aspect of your essence as you reside within silence, with no search or expectation, and just become. And when you decide to cross that bridge, know that you are lovable. Know that you are perfect just the way you are. Know that you are enough. With this knowledge, with this acknowledgement of self, the right people will recognize self. The right people will surround you. Your tribe will step forward. The call for home will reside in your heart as a clear calling. Your mission will be clear. Your actions will be understood. Within the love that you are, you remain. As you allow yourself to breathe with the intention to fully ground yourself, fully merge back into your physical awareness. And as you do, you know that you are one. One with self and one with all that is. Take some deep grounding breaths and welcome back. And thank you for listening. And thank you for journeying with me. Thank you for being present. The more that are present, the stronger the vibe will invite others to embrace their call for home. Until we meet again, much love, Wilhelmina.
All right, welcome back everybody. I have this meditation as an MP3 on my website in case anybody's interested in buying it. You can go to my website, McKittrick.com, to listen more to it and to use it more often. That's just a side note. One second. So they're saying that integration is taking place at the moment. Because you all have experienced some things, and have more or less created a vessel in connection with your essence, with your core, a vessel towards all that is. And with that, it's easier. You have made yourself more accessible, and it's not like they don't use you or something, because you're in control always, but you're just more connected right now. Okay? Does everybody feel it? Are they still, the clown is still like like you're hovering, it's there's a lot of energies at workers at play right now. And they're going to be with you, I would say it again, for the next 48 hours, about. So that means, they're going to be with you for a little bit to establish the newly found, they call it. And by now you understand how they speak through me. And the newly found means far more than the newly found. It's more or less, I'll just translate it as an invitation for restructuring and new grounds within. Are there any questions with what you experienced that wasn't clear, or something that you just want to share? Feel free to do so. You don't have to, but if there's any feeling that you want to share or need to share something, feel free to do that now. Whenever you go through these motions that we went through today, and you feel presence of things or beings that are not welcoming, or that doesn't feel welcome, allow yourself to be a star. Allow yourself to be light, and allow them to make their way home. Okay. Over the course of this evening, there was 2 times that I needed to create like fountain. I just call it fountain of love, where certain beings, will be more or less cleared out of this area. Okay, because there's a lot of how do you call that? There's a lot of eyes on transformation of mankind, and some are not that happy with it. But they don't have any power. They don't hold any power, okay, unless we give it to them, okay? As I said before, great control. And if you're not really aware of it, and I know that not everybody sees these things, but if you feel uncomfortable, shine. Okay? Just activate the love inside, and that's all you need to do. Because through the love that lives in our essence, nothing can touch us. Okay? We're all good. There's no need to fear. You are here. Okay? How are you doing?
I'm good. Do you want to ask That's funny. I'm sorry, I'm looking around you. Here. Asking it, Joyce. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, everybody that's been in my classes know that I ask the records for questions. I didn't get very many this time. I only got like 4 or 5, and they may be repeat. But we've got about 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and do it. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first question on your sheet is, what is the true reason of our existence?
Love. It's to manifest love. It's to create the love that is within one's being and to radiate it to all that is. It's the understanding of existence, and why we are all here is to achieve the utmost and the most spherical way of loving without effort. This is what the purpose is of the existence of all souls and all beings that reside within the universe. And that's including Earth. You can feel free to do it.
What can we do to achieve the reason for our existence?
Find the light that's within. The light that is within each being as what was given to you at this time has been there and has always resided within. What the purpose is for you as humans to become aware of what resides within is in order to understand and accept the love of the universe. And again, I'm getting the spherical, I guess that's the word of the night. And what I'm seeing is like where all of the planets are traveling around each other, you know, how they orbit. That's the sphere. And they're using that just as an example of the spherical. And as you begin to understand that there is love much grander than what resides within the mind, and as you find that love that is within, you will love all that is in the universe, from the simplest, most plain blade of grass to the living and to the unseen, which is what's residing within the universe far above what you can see with your own eyes. It's the love of all. And as you accept that you are a loving being, you will begin to evolve in a way that you have not understood before. This is what your answer is at this time. And if there's any questions, you guys feel free.
Okay, what can we do in order to create a better environment in order for us to achieve our reason for existence?
Recognize what lies within your vicinity. For example, what is in your home? Is there an object or a placement that is of the negative value? Recognize that the atmosphere that is the closest to you has the most influence. Is there an individual that you spend a lot of time with that brings in the negative and it affects you in a way that you do not see as becoming? Recognize what needs to happen or transpire in that situation. And this refers to all that is. And what I'm hearing is it the job situation? Is it something that's in your house that you don't like? It may be something as simple as, I hate my bedspread. It may be something that simple to where there may need to be some adjustments made to accommodate an atmosphere that brings out the love and the peace within your own being. That's simple.
how do we get help in order to live in our true purpose?
You ask for it. Again, and they're laughing and saying it's that simple. Ask God for help. Ask your guides for help. Ask friends for help. Ask all for help. Ask for assistance in recognizing and understanding what it is that is within you that needs to shift or change in order to take the steps forward. There are many resources around you. Become aware. Become aware of your thoughts, of your actions, of what is around you, and what do you want to change? What is it? And we're going back to the patterns. What is it that you want to change? What is it that you want to see different? What is it that resides within your mind that you want to shift or alter? This will all become in front of you. Basically what I'm seeing is that it'll all fall into place. You'll begin to see it easily as you begin to ask for it. It'll all appear to you. And it's like once one thing comes in front of you and you can achieve it, which basically means you can get through it, then another one will come up, and then another one will come up. It'll never be too much or more than what you can handle at one time. However, there is a clearing that needs to take place in all humans, as we all have the resistance of change within us. It is up to us as humans to recognize that we have the ability to change what is within. And this is what we're mentioning at this time.
What was the question? Who to ask?
The question was, how do we get help in order to live our true purpose?
Okay. We all have our answers. Okay. Yes, we can ask our beings, our helpers around, but ultimately, we all have our own answers. Okay. I just want to add that to there.
Well, and that's part of the answer. So when you ask, the answers will come up. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're asking all your guides or whoever. Just ask. What is it? What do I want to change? What do I see that's around me that is uncomfortable for me and that I want to shift or alter? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're asking your guides. Ask within yourself and it will appear.
I could give an example of that. Today I was working with my teacher, and I can't even remember specifically what it was, but it was a flash came through of being a child. I was, 5 family members, 5 children, and it was like there was that belief that we were very competitive in the family, and the belief that if you ask for help, it was a weakness. And so it was awareness of, wow, that's still in my belief system. And it was something I wasn't aware of, but when it came up and I was conscious of it, then I could deal with it. So I think that's a lot of what you're saying. It's those patterns that we repeat. Sometimes we don't even realize it, but when we ask and when we're more conscious and at least being aware of, whoa, what am I feeling and where is it coming from? And being conscious of it. So it's just an example.
You allow yourself to be truthful to yourself, to recognize that. Absolutely.
Exactly. So I thought that might help people be aware. The last one is, what is happening around us in order for us to achieve the true meaning of our existence?
The vibrational healing is occurring and it's increasing as we speak. As you have noticed, you have recognized that there have been shifts and changes within your own being, as you might have felt a vibration, a shakiness, an uneasiness, a chitter chatter of the mind. There have been shifting and changing and an increase in vibration that is occurring within all that is. As you begin to shift and change, you recognize that the atmosphere is at a higher frequency than what you've been used to. Getting over the past 5 years. There have been many changes that have been taking place, and what is existing and what is residing in you is amping up as you are becoming more familiar with the frequency changes or the resonance that's residing on the earth. You're getting ramped up. And so what I'm understanding is that there's a vibrational frequency that's coming into the earth. And basically it's that shift to that higher dimension. You shift to different dimensions by increasing your frequency. So as this frequency is coming in and we're getting more used to it, it's gradually increasing and increasing and increasing so that we can tolerate it. And there's been an influx of a higher resonance of frequency within the past 2 months. They're laughing and saying, has anybody been uncomfortable over the past 2 months? Is anybody finding a little bit of uneasiness? What we're asking you to recognize is that we are here to assist you and that what you are feeling is purposeful. It is uncomfortable at times, however, you are all growing and shifting and changing in ways that will increase your purpose upon this earth. And this is what we're here for, and this is what is transiting. Okay, that's not a real word. They're laughing and saying, well, it is in our language. Okay. You guys understand what we're saying, what's being said. This is an uncomfortable time for many, however, you are shifting and changing. And those that are in this room specifically are recognizing that they are adjusting easily and readily. And what we're getting is that there's been some uncomfortable times from everybody in here, but you're recognizing that something's changed in you in the past 2 months. That you're not just staying where you were. You can see changes, you recognize the changes, that they're very apparent to you. And they may just be small things, but you see that there's a difference. And this is what is happening among the universal planes that is assisting in your growth. Is there more questions about that?
Yeah, we're being confronted with our comfort zone and pulled out of that in the past few weeks, months. So it's truly something that you cannot ignore anymore. You know, it has been really in our face. You know? But we have stagnated enough that we made it happen like this. Okay, so it's just needed. But allow yourself to recognize your comfort zone and allow yourself to step out of that. Okay? Be brave enough to step out of that. And understand that any detachments that you have will come to an end. So it's maybe better if you choose to address it in a way that's needed. So you can move beyond it within the love and light that you are, instead of the pain and sorrow that can be attached to it. Okay? So listen, be honest to yourself, and do your thing.
So are there any questions? You're looking pretty. Are you relaxed? Or are you just spaced?
No, I'm listening intently and thinking, do I want to ask questions or I guess what was coming to me was I was trying to figure out how to articulate this. So the place where we are headed, because the time is now, obviously we know that applies to the people in this room. Is this, well, I'll use the example that you used about someone passing away. The way that we have responded to that previously may be different in the future because we see it with different eyes. And instead of maybe feeling all sorrowful and everything, maybe I rejoice knowing where they're going and being very happy for them and, they're going home and all that. When does this become a universal, no, an earthly thing where everybody is in that place? Does that happen in our lifetime?
When will it happen? It's truly up to mankind how they want to disperse this into the atmosphere. And with disperse, they mean like, whenever you step forward and be present, you're starting dispersing it. Okay? So it's all up to each and every one of us that are wandering this planet right now. What are we doing next? Okay? Yes, we are human beings. Yes, we can make our decisions. Okay, what will be ours? Okay, a timeline is not important. That has the same thing to do with fear. It's important for you to create maybe your timeline. When are you going to do it? That's your responsibility. That's the only responsibility. Okay, and as that is happening, we will start noticing it in our own little environment.
And I do.
We will be.
Yeah, I'm in that place.
That's like if you create your tribe, you create your community, and we are going to exist in this lifetime within that atmosphere, within that power, within that essence, because we choose so. And we're going to honor and respect ourselves, so the ones that will be around us will fit that pattern. Okay. So, are we going to experience it in this lifetime? I will.
Yeah.
I choose to.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I agree, and I feel like I am in that place. I guess I was just wondering, is everybody else? And I realized this is how it goes. You just do you, and you put your love out there, and one by one, this is how it goes. And this is how
otherwise you're going to go in the same old pattern, thinking about everybody else. Being distracted, being more or less hold back, because you are worried about other people or thinking about other things, that are not in your control. What is in your control? What is your choice? Okay, that's the only thing you have to take care of. That's your responsibility. That's your mission. Okay, and with that comes so much more. Every second of the day, it's amazing, beautiful. Cool, doesn't even touch it.
And my guides are saying, okay, stop being so diplomatic and just lay it out.
To me?
No, to me. You're being very diplomatic. And what they're laughing and they're saying, just tell her like it is. No, everybody will not shift and change in your lifetime. It's a process, and what we hope for is that the majority, you're going to have a long lifetime. So they're talking about, they're laughing and saying it depends on whose lifetime that you're talking about. Over the next 50 years, it'll be a challenge to get all human beings that reside upon this earth to have the same train of thought, as there are many that are clouded or have a narrow focus. And I just see that they've got the blinders on and they only see straight ahead. They're not going to see all the surrounding. And that goes into the beliefs and the cultures and everything that is. And they're saying, look at Palestine, look at Jerusalem or Israel and Palestine, and these wars that have been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You're talking about converting a belief that is taught that one person is right and another person is wrong simply because of their religious beliefs. And this is going to be hard to change those individuals. However, if you look at what is residing within this room and the openness that is here at this point, then yes, these individuals that reside in front of you will be changing and shifting in a way that will create a consciousness for all the universe to exist in. You have to look at that bigger picture. It's going to take a long, long time to shift and change those beliefs that have been in place for thousands and thousands of years. However, what we want you to recognize is this is not a place for you to stop. Don't give up hope and don't get distracted or detoured from that answer.
And don't feed that either, because then you just stimulate it to take a long, long time. It's going to be short and easy. Focus on that, put that energy out there, and focus on yourself. There's a lot of things that can help you understand. During the meditation, it was talked about, your past, present, and future self are merging as one, okay? There's a lot of power and a lot of understanding that can come instantly when you learn about your past selves, okay? And there's spontaneous past life regression happening with people, I give past life regressions as well, but the reason why this is something that is in our faith is because we need to understand the powers that were us in the past, and we need to reintegrate with that, okay? Because those are pieces that are missing in our essence right now, okay? And over the course of my life, I have had spontaneous past life regressions because I needed to have a refreshment course really fast so I could do the work. But quite recently, 2 past lives have been coming forward because I am ready now to allow those past lives back in. And with that comes a complete shift within your essence, because there's a different knowing, there's a different allowance, that maybe that's not English. Allowance is, when you get allowance, but when you allow a different tune in, that was missing. I invite everybody to do so, to call upon different parts of self, retrieve past selves. For that reason, in October, I'm giving a special for past life regressions. If anybody's interested, feel free to contact me. But that's just a side note, because I always like to keep it with people's own responsibility. You can do it yourself, okay? You can all call upon the parts of you that are waiting for you to call them back home, okay? We dismiss them over the course of our existence because of whatever traumatic events or whatever judgment we put towards our actions, but those judgments need to be neutralized, and we need to call them back home, okay? Because we cannot walk in the path, or the path of the new world, if we are not all merged into one, if we are not all complete, so our soul can integrate, so it can exist within all that is us, okay? And that's kind of everything that I have to say for today. But feel free to have questions or whatever. Okay?
Any other questions? Comments? Thoughts? You had some good comments. Would you like to have another comment?
Yeah, I do need to, there's something that I need to share. And it goes back to being part of the 3D plane. We as humans all have free will. You have chosen by your free will to be elevating on your spiritual path the way you have. One of the reasons why you're here tonight. The one thing that you have to accept about other people is they have free will not to.
Right.
And it is all blocked by fear. And so the thing about that is always remember every human has free will, and it's about what you choose to do with your own. And it's important not to interfere with somebody else's choice. It's important to honor what their choice is, because that's where they are at this point. And the one thing that I will say, because there are a number of you in this room who are living proof to me that as I am moving forward on my journey, you have crossed my path. There are people who have chosen not to progress, and people that I've known for a very long time have fallen away. So the one thing I will say is be very grateful and acknowledge to the universe those people that do come upon your path, because they're going to be the ones that are going to be matching your spiritual vibration, and they will be part of your tribe, they will be part of your family, they will be part of your support system. So this is part of the journey too, and it is also about learning how to let those people go, because their free will has allowed them to stay behind. Okay.
And which we want to note that those that are left behind are the ones that need to be loved the unconditionally more than all. because it's important not to judge their path.
Right.
It's important, I mean, and we, we all have the tendency to say, I feel so bad for them. Well, you don't have to. Just love them and allow them to go down their path, the path that they've chosen. And it is what it is. It's their journey, just like it's my journey. I'm the one that's choosing to take this path, and I could not have. I could have very easily taken a different road or stayed where I was 20 years ago and not gone this route. So just be careful about not judging or giving somebody less love and consideration because they're not taking your path.
Yeah, or thinking that they're less, because actually, most of them are here to help you elevate. And you can call it a sacrifice, or you can call it whatever you want. But they are maybe 10 times more evolved than you are, and that's their task in the here and now. So it's not about us judging and seeing things and then creating a story. Just focus on you and do your thing. And,
Those that know me well know I always say this, you have to give other people permission to be who they are and love them as they are. It doesn't mean, I may or may not choose to have that energy around me all the time, but I can still love them because that's what I'm intended to do.
Yeah. And that's where the power lies.
And I think that's something important that you said. And for some reason, I don't think that people on here need to hear this, but I need to say it, is that the key is that you can love and respect and honor somebody, but you don't have to be around them. And I think that is a misunderstanding with unconditional love. When you hear unconditional love, people think that you have to be in the environment of whoever you're forcing yourself to love unconditionally, as in our human mind, saying, well, as our ego comes in, well, this person, is not making very good choices I don't agree with, and they have bad energy, and they make me feel bad about myself, but I'm going to love them unconditionally, so I'm going to stay here and I'm going to hang out with them. It's all about the ego. That's not what the truth is. So give yourself permission to honor and love and respect those people that are not on our same path, but just because they're not doesn't mean that you have to be around them. You can pick the energy that you choose to surround yourself with, as in the example of what's around your house, the environment that you create.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a lot.
That's a lot. And I'm going to make some very selfish plugs with my ego. If you guys don't, I think everybody in here knows that I have a website, lisawetzel.com, and my information is back on the back table. This class is being recorded, and it'll be on the Radiant Living website and on my website. If you guys are interested in getting updates on events or anything like that, be sure and go to my website and sign up on the email. I would really appreciate it. And also, just a reminder that Wilhelmina and I both do private sessions, and we don't do just groups. And so if anybody's interested in making an appointment, call either one of us, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, there's something cool happening, by the way, that I completely forgot to mention also. We're going to go to Sedona. We have a retreat in Sedona. I don't know if everybody's on my Facebook group, but if you're interested in being kept in the loop, feel free to submit a request to join. It's a NewLifeArt&WellnessCenter. There's some flyers here on the table.
You're leaving soon too, aren't you?
It will be the
24th,
25th, 6th, and 7th, I believe, or maybe, I don't know, that weekend,
Numbers.
Yeah. I'm leaving the 24th, but I think it's 5th, 6th, and 7th, of October. And there's various information. I think there's some information on this table as well, so feel free to check it out.
Thank you again for being here. It's an honor for us to have you guys
Absolutely.
and be interested in what we have to share. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.